turns out that if you get the music rights and you have an API, you get spectacular results. If you want music lyrics, Music Match is a great place to get them, to integrate them into your app. And very cool thing is actually, there's a whole bunch of customers here of ours as well. There's Steve Willmott, give a shout out to those. It's a very cool social API. And I saw some input guys earlier on, there, obviously. And we have around about one API launch a week right now, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on. The product is divided into two. There's a free version, you can get started, so there's really no excuse. You can do 50,000 transactions a day on that, you can do a whole ton of stuff. Don't build all this stuff, and we'll make it work. And then we have an enterprise version which has much better SLA and a whole bunch of other features and things like that. So that's pretty much it. We want to shout out to everyone who's working on APIs. We think that's the way the web's going. There's just tons and tons of potential. And we just want to help make it happen. We're very friendly, so come and talk to us and see what we can do. So Match are great guys, we like them a lot. I have to say, I don't want to be a bit rude, but they kind of solve the problem in a V1 way, right? So they say, you have an API, you have some users, we're going to put a machine in between, and we're going to filter all this traffic, which is a way to solve the problem. But we think that's not the way the web will work in the end. It's not the way Google Analytics does it. If they'd done that, I think they probably wouldn't be where they are now. So what we do is we have software plugins, you just install those, and then you can get started. And we integrate with things like Varnish and other types of front-side caches, and you can just have those running, and you just retain complete control over what your API is doing, and you just use the bits of 3Scale that you need to give you the support that you need. And it's also a lot more cost-effective, because we see management-level traffic. We don't have to filter all of that video and pictures or whatever you're sending back to the portal. We don't see that. So it's a pretty different way of solving the problem, and we think it's a much more flexible way. I mean, we love the Match guys, so it's cool. But we think we provide a pretty good differentiated solution. So try us out, try them both, and see what you like. And we start at free as well, which is pretty good.
So raise your hands for Steve. CEO of 3Scale.
Any more questions?
I got a question about the discoverability all over from apps and so that's any thoughts about discoverability of APIs in the future?
Sorry, the scalability.
Discoverability.
Discoverability, yeah. I think actually right now we're seeing almost like cottage industry levels of APIs. So if you look at some of the projections, there's thousands of APIs that are going to come online, but that's still only thousands. There's millions and millions of websites. And it's going to be much more complicated to actually find the data that you want, to know that the data source you're talking to is trusted and not another one when there are tens of thousands of APIs. That's a huge problem. So Program Web is a great index. But even they, I think they see that they're kind of the Yahoo right now. But then after Yahoo, there was Google, and there were a whole bunch of other search engines. So I think there's a huge problem. There are some description languages out there which is starting to be used a little bit. I think it's going to take a while for those to take off. But that'll be actually, I think, kind of one of the next big steps in the next year or two, where people start describing their APIs in a discoverable way, and people can use them. And we'll try to help with that effort if we can, and it's going to be exciting.
So, are you looking to converge APIs on common standards? If everyone's trying to do similar things like profiles or whatever, are you encouraging them to use common APIs rather than just make stuff up and contribute to the problem you just described?
Yeah, I think it's starting to happen organically. So there's not 500 different ways of writing a publish post subscription type of API. There probably are if you rename the variables, right? But there's not very many sensible ways. So there's a convergence that is happening already. I think people want their APIs to work in similar ways if they can, because it makes it easier for developers. Will that get standardized? I don't know if people will dig down to that level. I think that different areas like e-commerce and media and so forth will tend to over time have more similar interfaces. And that'll be a good thing for a lot of people. I hope there won't be any IPR issues of people kind of getting frustrated with copying each other's APIs, but there's definitely some convergence, and we try to help people get the right API for their features. But obviously, as people converge, that's kind of easier for developers to use different similar paths.
Any other questions? I've been waiting to use the straw call that line. Last call.
You get it? Not at the bottom.
Come on, people.
Okay, so thanks very much to Viadeo for the...
One more.
Oh, one more? Cool.
Hey Steve, you know, when you're in the API business, you hear a lot of weird metaphors, like APIs are. I've heard APIs are like steering wheels of cars. They're like I heard one say it was like a toilet and plumbing. What's your favorite API metaphor to explain it to people who might not know what it is?
Good question. I kind of think of them as glue, to just glue pieces of data together or glue the web together in a way that people don't think about. That's also probably not the best metaphor in the world. So, but hey, that's kind of what I think that the plumbing one sounds interesting, or the toilet one. I'm not sure. I'd have to explain that one. Plumbing. Well, plumbing is good. Plumbing, glue, don't mix too well, but hey.
Oh, wait, real quick. API. Somebody call it out. What does it stand for?
That's true. No one said
Application.
it.
All right, good. Right on. How many people had no idea what an API is before you landed here tonight? All right, good. Application Programmable Interface.
Programming.
Programming.
Yeah.
It's a verb.
Yeah, but hey, there might be people who will be left at the end of the evening who don't know what it is yet.
Probably. The barber meeting's over. We'll see.
Great.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks,